Hey guys, I thought I'd just hop on today and do a little video for Father's Day, as today is Father's Day. And I just wanted you to reflect on a few things, because I've been reflecting. The more I work on myself, the more I reflect, and the more I question things. So I just wanted to put out this video for you parents, not just dads, because I think mums can relate also to this, about the things that we were taught from our parents and our adults in our life. And do we want to pass that down to our children, or do we want to make a change? And I chose to make a change because some of the men in my life, family, surrounding me, didn't make the best decisions on the way they conducted themselves, the way they raised their children, or who they are. And I hear a lot of excuses from people about, oh, my past, oh, this. It's your responsibility to heal that. It's not your, how do I put this? It's not up to you. You didn't make it happen. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal that and not pass that on to the next generation of children. So as a father, I've learned that I wanted to mold and support my son. I don't want to necessarily tell him the right way to live, but I want to show him there is a better way. And once you love yourself, then you will respect yourself more and the people around you. Because one lesson I've learned is to be a man of my word and not let people down, because I was taught that men in my life let me down and didn't necessarily teach me the right things. But I thank everybody in my life who hasn't been a blessing, because they have been a lesson, and that's enabled me to be a better father to my son. And also the lesson of respecting the mother of your child, because I can't talk for every man around you, but the big majority of the men around me haven't really showed me the right way to treat a woman. And as a father, I've took things, like I say, as lessons and how I didn't want to be. So I thank those people for those lessons. But I've also learned how I did want to be from them. So I didn't make their mistakes. So I thank them for making those mistakes, if that makes sense. So I didn't have to make them, because I knew, watching those people, that isn't how I wanted to be. And I think the greatest gift you can give a child is to respect their mother. And I'm not just talking about men should just respect women. Women should respect men, and men should respect men, whatever the situation is. But I like to teach my son that it's okay to show your emotions, it's okay to be yourself, and that it is good enough, because I don't think that came across to me from a lot of people as I was growing up. And we're just talking about the men in my life here because it seems to fit with the Father's Day theme. And I just thought it would be a good conversation to open. What does being a dad mean to you? And you don't necessarily have to be a father right now to answer that question. What does it mean to you as a person? And what things have you been taught that you will pass on to your children? And what things do you necessarily not want to? And that's not saying that your dad got it wrong on purpose, but it is saying that times have changed. And as a dad, I don't want to teach my child that being a boy, you have to be a certain way. I just want him to express who he is, because that is good enough. And as you get older, and the more you don't let the pain control you, and don't sit there with your victim t-shirt on, you learn lessons and you reflect on that, and you try and come across as a better person, because that's all I want to be. I'm not better than you. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just better than I was yesterday. And that's my aim for every day, to just learn lessons, because we are human. We do make mistakes as men, as parents. Mums, I've got your back there too. We do make mistakes. We do say the wrong things at times to our children. We do sometimes let triggers from our childhood pass on to those. But as long as you recognize that, that's the first step. As long as you apologize to your child, never think you're too big to apologize. We're not always right. We do get it wrong sometimes. And that's okay, as long as you acknowledge that, explain to your child that that wasn't the right way to behave, and move on. But I was just coming on here today to say, reflect. Please do. Please reflect. Am I passing the right message on to my son, daughter? Am I being the role model that they need? And if you're not, don't sit and beat yourself up about it. Reach out. I've got you. I once made mistakes. I once didn't express my emotions. I once was an angry person. But I learned skills through doing life coaching courses, through listening to other people, through meditation, through emotional intelligence. And this isn't just going out there to you dads. This is for mums too. Reach out. I have you. I want to help you. But the key questions I wanted to ask here was, are you portraying to your children the values that you stand by? Because we need to align with our values. That's when we're in the magic zone, when our life aligns with our values. And yes, stress gets in the way at times, but that isn't an excuse to not work on ourselves. That isn't an excuse to pass these lessons down to our children in the wrong way. So how about you take these questions away, let them sit. Are you being that person? Are you being the dad that you want to be? Or are you just poodling along with life? Same for you mums. Are you being that parent that you want to be? Or are you letting old triggers, old limiting beliefs, that inner critic, are you allowing that to override the lessons you want to teach your children? Because I say all this stuff because I live it. Like I say, my mission every day is to be a better person and pass this stuff on to children. And I want to offer you those skills too, so you can be there for your children. When they're crying, you're not sitting there telling them to be quiet, stop crying, because you're feeling triggered or you're feeling embarrassed that they're crying in the street. You're giving them the space. You're holding space for them. You're holding space for your partner. You're holding space for yourself. I want you to feel the way I feel, safe, secure, and around the right people. I want you to find your tribe. And it's never, ever, ever, ever too late to be a better version of you, which then in turn helps you to be a better parent to your children. Don't sit there holding on to triggers. Don't sit there clinging onto the victim t-shirt because it's safer to wear. Let's strip off that victim t-shirt and let's put on a different t-shirt. It doesn't have to be a big gesture. Simply sitting and reflecting is enough. If you need those questions, if you need someone to evoke that out of you, I've got you. Please reach out. Let's, especially after this period of craziness we've had with the coronavirus, I want you to move forward and be a better version for A, yourself, and B, for your children, or if you're not a parent, for the children around you, because children are the next generation. Do we want them to learn what we all learn too late? Do we want them to not have this knowledge because it's too painful to look at who we are and check in with ourselves, or because we're holding on to trigger things and we're treating people the way that we don't necessarily want to treat them? We're just allowing those limiting beliefs and triggers to take over. It's not too late to rewire your brain. It's not too late to change that default setting that you have. It's not too late to change that story that you're telling yourself, because don't always believe what you think. Because can you tell me the next thought that's going to pop in your head? I'll take a guess. No, because some of those thoughts are not yours. So don't just think because I thought it, it's right and it's the way I should behave. because that's where you're messing yourself up. There's loads of little things that I have that are going to help you be a better father to your children and be a better man for yourself if you don't have children. It all starts with you. And it all starts with, do you want to hurt yourself or help yourself? Do you want to hurt your children or help them? Because some of the ways you behave could be impacting on that child's day. I'm not saying you're a bad person. If you've got anger issues, I beg you to sort them out. I beg you to go through that pain barrier and get to the other side. I beg you to sort out those limiting beliefs. Please don't pass it down to your son or daughter. Please don't pass down that baton of anger because you're too wrapped up in life to reflect on yourself. It's not weak. It's not unmasculine. It's the way the world should be. Speak, and someone will be there to listen. If that's not me, that's fine. But find someone that can evoke the best version of yourself out of you. When you leave that legacy, you want your child to look back and say, wow, that was my dad, or that was my mum, or that was a member of my family. Not they, as I have now. They taught me, even though I'm grateful for the lessons and I can reframe it into lessons, not pain, because I hold no bad feelings to anybody. When you can reframe it into a lesson and move on, we don't want our children to have to reframe that dad was always shouting, mum was always on her phone. Let's be present, let's focus. Let's from this day forward move on and be the best version of ourselves, so then we can be the best version of a parent to our children, aunties, uncles. Let's be real role models. Let's not just use these words and throw them around. Let's really think about the values you hold. Let's really think about the lessons adults taught you, and let's not pass them down to generations. Let's not pass them to your partner. Let's not do that. Let's have the pot with your happiness in front of you. Yes, people can add to that pot, your children, your spouse, your partner, your husband, your wife, your grandparents, your parents, but they're not responsible for keeping that pot full. They're not responsible for healing the pain that other people caused you. Don't sit there with that pain one more day. Reach out. You don't need to punish yourself anymore. I give you permission to let it go and release it. If you don't know how to do that, please, please, please reach out. There are so many lovely people out there. There are so many people that know the stuff I know that are wanting to serve and help you. There are so many amazing books out there. There are so many resources. And I know it's hard when you don't know where to look. But if this video resonated with you, I'm so open to a conversation with you. Please reach out. If this video resonates with you and you feel someone else could watch it, share it. The more we share this stuff, the more we talk about this stuff, the better it gets. And I'm passionate to the next generation. Don't be left with the battle scars that we have. No, I'm not trying to say life is going to be easy for them and there's not going to be a struggle, because that would be lying. And I'm a very honest guy. But there are things you can do about it. And I know you've got the power to do it. I believe in you. But now the question is, do you believe in you? Think about what I've said. Go away. Take some time. Reflect. Are you the person you want to be? Or are you just a shell? Are you just poodling along with life? Or are you living to the core of who you choose to be? Because you hold the pen. Start that new chapter. Start it today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start it today. Have an awesome Father's Day if you're celebrating. But remember, We hold the key to the next generation. I beg you not to throw it away.